and welcome to my Slimming World channel. My name's Shell and this year I turned 50 years old and I don't feel anywhere near as fit and healthy as I would like to. Last week on Friday the 8th of June I joined Slimming World, and this is the Friday after the 15th for my first proper weigh-in. I've had a really good week doing Slimming World. I've enjoyed it. I haven't been hungry at all. I decided, I've done Slimming World twice before. This is my third time. The first time I tried Slimming World was back in the early 90s. I'd never done a diet like this before and I misunderstood the whole idea. When they said you can eat as many free foods as you want, I took them literally, and I was eating pounds of potatoes and buckets of pasta, tins and tins of beans, and I ended up being heavier than when I started. And I was very upset about it all and I left. The second time I went to Slimming World, I was doing well for a while, and then unfortunately I got into a bad habit of going home from class and deciding to have a cheat night, and that after week the cheat night went into the next day and then the next day, and then I found I was having to virtually not eat for 2 days to try and even maintain, and I got into a real amount of trouble where I was virtually binging for 2 or 3 days and then starving for 2 or 3 days to go to class. And of course after starving for 2 or 3 days I got home from class and then all I'd want to do is start eating everything in sight again. So I got into a lot of difficulties that way, so I don't want to do that this time. So third time lucky, I thought, what can I do this week that will give me a real start and help me do the plan the way I want to. I don't want to do the plan like that where I'm just basically finding every single way I can to cheat and get around it. I want to do it properly and healthily. So I thought of the 5 things I could do that I do every day, 5 things I could change, what would they be, the top 5? So the first one was to get rid of bread products, because I have a very bad relationship with bread products, crumpets, potato cakes, muffins, tea cakes, all these things. Once I start eating them I can't stop. So I decided to give up all bread products. The next thing I decided to give up was all processed burgery type things, pastries, pies, flans, all the processed burgers. I decided I'd leave those alone for a while because again I have a problem with them. The next thing I decided to give up was red wine. Now I don't drink a lot. This is why it would seem to be a good idea to give it up, because I'm not a party girl that drinks a lot at the weekends or drinks a lot every evening, but I have a glass of wine every evening that's worth 5 sins, and I decided that it's probably not a good idea to drink that many sins, and I didn't think I'd miss it that much, so I gave that up altogether. I stopped doing that, so now I'm not drinking at the minute. And the next 2 things are the 2 biggest problems that I have. Firstly is this. I'm going to spin this round. As you might not have realised by now, or you will do soon, I am blind, so I don't know which bit's facing you, so I'm spinning things round so you get a good view. This is cocoa powder. I've had a problem with cocoa powder for years. It's been an ongoing war. Sometimes I win the skirmishes, sometimes cocoa powder wins. I always give it up for a while, and then gradually I say, well, I'm just going to have 1 hot chocolate after my tea. I'm only going to put a teaspoon in. And before I know it, then it's another teaspoon, then a tablespoon, and at my worst I can get up to 3 tablespoons a day. And when that happens, I'm having a hot chocolate in the morning, a hot chocolate after my tea, and I can't sleep because of I don't know whether it's the caffeine in it. Some people don't seem to be bothered by cocoa powder, but I do, and I can't sleep properly. I feel tired all the time. I'm craving the cocoa powder, so I've given that up. I've not had any hot chocolate all week. And of course it's sins, you know, every tablespoon is 2.5 sins. So if I was to have me wine at 5 sins and 2 or 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder a day, that would be all my sins gone. So that's not a good idea. And the next thing, which is equally as bad as the cocoa powder, is sweetener and sugar. This is stevia. supposed to be one of the healthier sweeteners. I didn't realise that not all sweeteners are free on Slimming World. I thought they were, but apparently some of these that are the powdered forms of sweetener, they're not all free. Some of them are sinned. I don't know whether this is sinned or not because it's not in the on the app or on the website, so I don't know, but I've decided to give it up because it gives me the same problems as sugar. And once I start eating sugary things, I can't stop. It doesn't matter whether it's cakes, biscuits, anything at all that's sugary drinks, anything. So I've done a whole week, almost a whole week, I'll tell you about that later, almost a whole week without any sugar or sweeteners, which has been a bit difficult because I'm used to having quite a lot of stevia in a day with the hot chocolates, and also I do like sugary sweets, even low sin ones like the sweet and salty popcorn. I know they're only a few cents a bag, but once I've started eating them, I want more sugary things. So they're the main things that I've decided to avoid this week to give me a really good start. Things I have been eating. Well, for sins, every day I've had 7 sins. I had, in the morning, I had speed food fruit. I had my B choice of 40 grams of oats. I had 10 grams of nuts, which is 3 sins. And these are new to me. I've never had them before. These are chia seeds. I don't know if you can see those. This is a very big bag of chia seeds. I've had these on my breakfast. 10 grams of chia seeds are 2 sins. So for my breakfast every day I've had 5 sins, 3 for the nuts and 2 for the chia seeds, and these have been very nice. They're tasty and crunchy and quite healthy as well, I think. So 5 sins there, and also I had 2 squares of dark chocolate every evening. I decided I didn't want to think about sins this week, being my first week. Normally when I start Slimming World, all I'm interested in is sins. I've never bothered about speed food before. In fact, when I've joined Slimming World before, I've never even read the books. All I've used the books for is to go and see about sins. And I usually spend the first week finding out how I can get most sins for the allowance. I'll be thinking, well, if I have a healthy B, if it's going to be bread or oats, which can I use as the B choice so I can have most sins, and which burgers can I have to make sure I have more chips, and all these different things. I'll be working my way around how can I get more junk in, basically. I didn't want to do that this time, so I thought, well, I'm not going to concentrate on sins at all. I'll have those 7 sins a day. I've never had a problem with dark chocolate. I have a problem with the lighter chocolates, but the dark chocolate isn't as sweet, and it doesn't cause me much of a problem. So I've had 2 squares every evening and really enjoyed it. One night I did have some other sins, that was these. When I went shopping, I was looking for cauliflower rice. In the section I saw cauliflower rice and different things, and I was choosing what to have, and then I saw this, and it was called cauliflower and kale couscous, and the lesson learned, I didn't look. I thought it's just going to be cauliflower and couscous cut up small. When I was having it for my tea and I was thinking it was just going to be speed food, I poured it into the pan and I could feel some oil on my fingers, and I thought, well, that's not right. And when I investigated further, it is actually couscous, as in traditional couscous, fresh couscous. You don't have to put any boiling water on it. Fresh couscous with cauliflower and kale, and it's got some oil in it as well. So I went up and had a look on the website to see how many sins was in it, and it's 6 sins for the whole bag, which is pretty good actually. And I had some sins left over. I'm only using 7 a day, so I thought, well, now it's in the pan and it's 6 sins, I'm going to eat it. And it was delicious. It was really, really nice. I'm not sure I'd get it again, but it was really tasty, and I had some beans with it, and I really enjoyed it for 6 sins. It's very filling, really filling. So on the one day I had those sins not by accident, because I knew I was going to eat them and it was on plan, so that was fine. When it comes to the A and B choices, I have had a bit of difficulty. I was okay with the B choices. I've had oats every morning, but for the A choice I was really struggling. I hate milk. I've never liked milk ever since I was a little girl. When we used to get milk at school, I was always pouring mine out down the drain behind the shed when nobody could see because you were supposed to drink it. And so I don't do dairy, and I don't like even dairy milks. I don't like soya milk or almond milk. I don't like any of them. I thought I'd try the Alpro dark chocolate milk to see if I could manage that. So I bought 2 cartons, and I really didn't like it, and it was incredibly sweet. I don't know whether that's with stevia or sweetener or with sugar, but whatever it was too sweet. And I didn't like the milk side of it. I found I was just opening my mouth and pouring it down my throat without trying to taste it, and I thought it was a bit ridiculous. And also, I tried to avoid sweet things all week, and here was this thing I was drinking which is incredibly sweet, and I had all the same feelings again. It made me hungry. I was scratching around looking for things to eat, so I gave the rest away to the neighbour, and I thought that I'm not going to be able to manage that. So the only other thing I could find that was dairy free and not milk was this cheese here. I don't know if that's the right way up. I'll show it all the way around just so you can... It's cocoa dairy free cheddar. And I was so keen to get my hands on this that I actually joined Waitrose. I didn't have a Waitrose account, but I wanted it so badly. I actually got a Waitrose account and signed up, and I ordered 3 packets of this cheese. It's 200 grams, and you can have 40 grams as an A choice. So basically just cut this into 5, and you've got your 5 daily A choices. And it's not bad. A lot of people don't like it because it's very coconutty flavoured. I gave it to my hubby and he said, well, it's not bad, but it's not cheese. He said it tastes like coconut. And it does, I have to agree. I've not had it melted yet, I've only had it grated into a salad. It's okay, you know, it's not bad. A lot of people said they really don't like it. Apart from that, well, I joined Slimming World last week. I had a lovely consultant, and the class was very nice, a small class. I think it's not been going for all that long, so it's just building up nicely. But the consultant was very helpful and nice, and she helped me in the class and helped me to find a seat and get weighed in. And for this week, she got me my plan on CD, which is these CDs she's got for me. How many have got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 CDs, which she's got the plan on. So I'm going to read that this week. I said, done Slimming World before, but I didn't bother reading the plan. I know what to do, so but this time I want to do much better. And in my first week on Slimming World, I lost 8 pounds. So straight away I've got my half stone award. Don't know which way up that goes, but there you go. My half stone award. 8 pounds is brilliant, and I feel so much better even in 1 week than I did last week. Last week I felt so bloated and my legs were all swollen up, and I was having a lot of back problems. Even when I was standing making the soup my first day, I started getting pins and needles, and I was standing for a while, pins and needles all down my legs, and I had to go and lie on my back and try and ease things. And even walking this week has been so much better, and back pain's been better, everything's been better. So I've had a fantastic week, and I've been watching people's YouTube videos, even people that are maintaining, because they've done it and they've got the knowledge, and watching their videos has inspired me, and it inspired me to go back to group when I wasn't going to go. I was trying to do online to start with. I didn't do very well. I weighed in last week at 12 stone 9. I've already lost a stone over the last year. I was 11 stone 9, that was 12 stone. I started last year at 12 stone 9, and this last week I weighed in at 11 stone 9. So this week I lost 8 pounds, 11 stone 1. I was absolutely made up. So I'll see how I get on, and next week hopefully I'd have lost some more. I was trying to do speed foods, lots and lots of speed foods at every meal, speed foods and protein, and just a bit of a few new potatoes, a cup of rice here and there, and it's been brilliant. Really enjoyed it. And I've made a huge vat of lentil soup. It was lentil and speed vegetables, mostly leeks and cabbage, and onions and a little bit of sweet potato in there as well. And I made a huge amount of it. It lasted me 6 days, so I had that every day at dinner time. And I just made another batch yesterday, which will last me for the next 6 days. And I do go to the gym. I go to the gym usually 3 times a week. I'm not saying I go mad at the gym. I go with my friend and we potter around and chat. But it's getting some exercise in, and I do walk every day. We've got a dog, so we walk the dog every day, and that's a bit more exercise. So I don't think I really need to up my exercise much more. I'm quite happy with that. But hopefully next week I'd like to have another loss. I don't suppose it's going to be a very big loss next week after losing 8 pounds this week, but any loss I'd be very, very happy with. So I look forward to speaking to everybody next week and watching everybody's videos. It's great to see how everyone's getting on and how everybody's... well, it's great to see people being enthusiastic when they lose, but also when people gain, it's great because you get the wisdom of what they've done wrong and how they, watch people put it right. So I love watching people's videos, and I hope somebody might find mine a bit more helpful as I go along. I can't offer anybody any advice at the minute because it's only my first week, but maybe in a few months' time I'll be able to say this is my advice on what to do. So thanks for watching, and I'll give an update next week. Bye!